artwork based on Tracy. We decided to call it the Red One, where we made a pile of beds to suggest sexual congruency. A bed is something that people consider very private. It's in your private space, and it is linked to the idea of sex and an intimate space. So we decided to use that whole entire element, and with sexual concurrency, we decided to have a pile of beds. And with those pile of beds, it kind of gives the idea that all of those people are connected in that act of sex, or this idea of intimacy, giving the idea of sexual concurrency. We have it in white beds, symbolizing a purity, but we also have a one red bed. That is the idea of HIV and AIDS. Now that one single red bed infects all white beds. So even though you might be one pure white bed, you are still within that whole sexual network of beds, and you get infected by that one single red bed.
What do you think of this as a way of educating students as opposed to just a poster?
Well, you'd have to explain it, because I mean, art is quite interpretational. I mean, people take different interpretations.
Right.
So, but do you think they have to be quite explicit as to what it's actually about?
Okay.
Fair to say.
Okay.
If you want to use it as an educational thing, it's got to be very straightforward.
Different. They are interesting.
Presume HIV because I read the thing on the ground. HIV.
Did you do anything else? Did you receive any education from these sculptures today?
Today? I don't know, from looking at, you could say it's a web which you constantly get entangled in, it's difficult to get out of. So like poverty in South Africa, it's an endless cycle which people get, I don't know, you'll contact HIV and to get out of it is very difficult.
Right. And for example, if we had to say that was a sexual network, the sculpture over there with all the yarn, how would that make you feel?
Well, it's good. Okay, not a good analogy, it's a good, what's the word I'm looking for? Not an analogy, but it starts with one, it starts with two, and it eventually becomes thousands.
And you're part of the network right now, do you notice that?
Yeah.
How many of you have condoms in your bags today?
Today? Not today.
Okay, so in the same way, you're part of the sculpture, and in that sculpture, there is no condoms as well. So, does that change your mindset in terms of being safe and being part of a sexual network?
I'm generally quite safe myself, so I wouldn't be too worried.
All the time?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
How do you feel about that representing a sexual network?
I think as a woman it's quite intimidating, because women are often, well, they're viewed as more vulnerable than men, especially when it comes to concepts like rape. So, yeah, I guess when you look at it from that perspective, it's quite...
So over there on the wall, there's pictures of students from all over campuses, all the different campuses, the contents of their handbag. And would you be surprised to know that only one of them had a condom in there?
That doesn't surprise me at all.
No, why?
I don't know, I think a lot of girls are like put off by the idea of having a condom in their bag. Like, I don't know, I suppose if they just feel embarrassed if someone went through their bag and found it. So it could be like, well, are you that promiscuous that you're carrying one on you?
Is art like this more interactive? Is it better than just a poster?
Yeah, but it's a good idea to be.
Why is it a good idea?
Because all the things you know, you go to start there.
celebrate it better. But for kids and stuff, it's something fun. They can reach and understand that, okay, see, everything is a mess now. You can understand this is like what happens when you have AIDS. So for kids, it's like the best thing. Like high school kids and primary school kids, it's like the best way to reach.
Know more now because it's coming to them in a different way.
Okay, so you think that we should be doing more kind of campaigns that are interactive in this kind of way to get students really talking about the different issues around HIV and AIDS?
Definitely.
Okay,
Absolutely. And also putting it in context. I mean, like some of them were like, you know what, if you didn't tell me what it was, it's so effective because you guys are here. You know, you interact with us, you put it in context. And the one with the blood on it, they were like, it's so real that
they get it.
Yeah.
They visually get it, but they also, it's important to have the two pieces together where you talk about the art being the reflection and then you guys bringing the piece together. So what does it actually mean? What are we talking about here?
Yes.
Yeah. And we also had a good time with it. I think I should also mention that.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
It's so nice to be on that personal interactive level than just talking to a bunch of people.
Look for ways that educated students that weren't so literal. And so we approached the art department about incorporating how do we teach people about sexual networks without necessarily us bringing morality into it, that becomes something for the students to interact with. And so I think that the art students have responded in incredibly interesting ways to the idea of sexual networks, risks, and morality in these art projects. And today we've been interacting with students, and what's been amazing is how willing they've been to engage with it, no matter what their position on it is. And so we're really finding a way of doing AIDS education around sexual concurrency and HIV, and there's a whole spectrum of views about it that we've been able to engage with. But at least we're getting students to engage with it rather than just say, AIDS education, I've had it since school, I'm over it. So it's been a really exciting project, and we really hope that we can do something like this again.